And one thing you don't want is a one-dimensional coach, a one-dimensional whatever. Like like I said, you play football, you play basketball. If somebody to talk to or whatever, you don't want a one-dimensional person because a one-dimensional person can only a one-dimensional person has one dimension that they idolize. So the coach will be idolizing what they might say you're idolizing because what they're trying to do is they're trying to use a little hypnotist technique to try to make you, you know, see what they give you the problem. If you don't say it's a problem, they try to give it to you. You see, so to me, I'm coming into the real awakening. See, I've always been awake. I've always been awake because I've always had the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding. But everything takes its time. I just couldn't, get it like it's supposed to be. But now, this is the real awakening. The real awakening is not breaking away from a woman, breaking away from a man, breaking away from this and breaking away from that. Because I haven't broken away from anybody. But the thing is but I've broken away from the cliche terms that really, the cliche terms that people use to keep you down. Because there's no way you can be brought. See, let me tell you, like I said, a one-dimensional coach is someone that always goes back to the same topic with no conclusion. Just like what does a knock do? A knock always runs around like a hamster on a wheel with no type of conclusion at all. So a knock might go up, it might go left, right, east, west, down. A coach will do the same thing. East, west, down, east, west, down, east, west, down, this way and that way. That's the point. So always realize you never want a one-dimensional because a one-dimensional will keep you in one-dimensional. A one-dimensional person will keep you, and that's if you don't have a brain. If you got a mind, if you got a brain, if you're already awake, you'll become awakened to what's really going on. And that's the point. So be awakened to the world. You can't be awakened to a man or a woman or this and that, because like I said again, when you make sense of it, you're in the world. And like I said, sometimes these cliches and these terms, we never thought that anyway. But, it was brought forth in a one-dimensional term. So, me, I'm multi-dimensional. With my coaching, I'm multi-dimensional with what I do. So, you don't have to contact me personally. You don't have to this and that. You always receive it when you see it. Because it resonates, because it's the truth. And it comes from within, As I said, always it's number one, always from the Most High God. Then it's with the domain that I have and, the steps I take and the laboring I do, this comes free and this comes natural. So that's why it's always free. That's why it's always natural. I don't pay for it, I don't, charge for this. No. Because it's free, it's natural, it's from the soul, it's from the spirit. And it's testing the spirits by the spirits, because all these stuff I'm saying is true. People might have a different take on it and say, but what I'm saying is actually true. Because sometimes you don't want things to turn to hogwash. If you're talking to somebody and you're trying to come up with a solution, you don't want to hear this and that and hear this and hear that. You want bam, and that's that. So that's the point. So what you hear here is 100% natural. And that's why it's always received by every single body. People that see me receive it. People online receive it. People here receive it. People go far when they hear what I got to say. Right? People go so far, sometimes people go so far, they say, let me just throw his woman at him. You can't throw my woman at me. I throw it at me in bed when we go to bed every night. Right? So, you can't throw this at me and throw that at me. No. That won't ever work. Because with knowledge and with wisdom like this, that's why I remain like I do. It's like invisible because of the faith that I have. And it's the faith that it resonates and it helps everybody. And I gotta glorify God for that. It helps every single person, even when they try to deny and not put God in the equation. And say religion is, religion that. It helps every single person that's viewing it all the time. They're always receiving nuggets off of this. Right. And they didn't know I had it in me, and no, I knew I had it in me, but it just took time for the real. And see, the awakening wasn't against, like I said, against having an awakening against your husband, having an awakening against your wife. No, you got married because you already had an awakening against that. You already had an awakening of your family. Get an awakening of the people that are not even mentor or coaching you, people that are just a mentor and a coach into the world. I mentor and coach to the world. So when you hear this, your marriage is healed. Or you get to step away like you're supposed to. I don't gotta cuss and say that. Or, whatever the case is. Your business thrives. Your church, you start getting members in your church. Or you might start losing members because it's so real. That's just the point. You have more loving nature towards your kids. You learn to want to help people. You learn what healing really is when you hear this. Because there's a universal teaching that doesn't focus on just one thing. It focuses on life itself. And Christ is the bread of life. And we got to bring that bread every step of the way. And we have a mission to labor as always. There's men and women out here, and that is why, once we put it out there, the real kings and queens, those that serve us and the way they do, they spread it all around. Peace.